I've got a spreadsheet here. Last November, I called 46 mechanics across the United States: Texas, Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Arizona. I asked them one question: what SUV do you personally drive? Not a single Range Rover, not one Genesis, not even a Volvo. So what are they driving? I'm Mike from Garage IQ, and if you're about to spend 45 grand or more on a new SUV, this list should make you very uncomfortable. Let's be clear, most best SUV lists come from reviewers who drive test vehicles for a weekend. But they never see the SUV at 60,000 miles when the turbo coolant line starts leaking, or the $3,800 repair bill when the infotainment module fails out of warranty. Mechanics do, every single day. And these 7 SUVs kept appearing across the interviews, not because they're exciting, but because they're predictable. Not perfect, just far less likely to financially punish you. Let's dive in. Number 7, Toyota RAV4. Starting at number 7, the SUV that made mechanics smirk when they quietly admit they own one. The Toyota RAV4, specifically the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated model. Not the turbo, not the plug-in. Starting around $28,000, it doesn't impress anyone on paper, until you realize it's one of the most durable SUVs sold in America. Dave runs a shop outside Cleveland. He pulled his service records. 4 years of RAV4 ownership, repairs outside routine maintenance, 0. His exact words: "My customers spend more fixing one German SUV than I've spent on my RAV4 since new." He wasn't exaggerating. The 2.5-liter engine is naturally aspirated. No turbo to overheat. No boost pressure stressing seals. It uses port injection, avoiding the carbon buildup that plagues modern direct injection engines. The timing chain is probably engineered to last the life of the engine. Nothing fancy, that's the advantage. In US reliability data, the RAV4 consistently ranks among the lowest defect SUVs in its class. Common failures? Almost none. Brakes, bushings, normal wear. Parts are everywhere. Aftermarket support is massive. One Arizona mechanic drives a 2016 RAV4 with 290,000 miles. Original engine, original transmission. His summary: oil, filters, brakes. That's it. The interior is basic. The infotainment is simple. Performance is adequate, not thrilling. But mechanics aren't shopping for thrills. They're shopping for weekends they don't spend fixing their own vehicles. The RAV4 delivers that. Running costs are low by SUV standards. Cheap consumables, simple servicing, fewer surprises. Real-world fuel economy sits around 28 to 30 miles per gallon. Excellent for a naturally aspirated compact SUV. Insurance rates are among the lowest in their class. It's the opposite of what modern SUV marketing promotes, and that's exactly why mechanics choose it. Number 6, Mazda CX-5, 2.5 naturally aspirated. At number 6, an SUV that proves you can have modern design without modern repair bills. The Mazda CX-5, but only with the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine, not the turbo. The version reviewers call slow is the one mechanics trust. A Mazda specialist in Denver told me, "The non-turbo Skyactiv engine is the closest thing we have to old-school Toyota reliability." He paused, then added, "I almost never open them." Here's what stopped me when I pulled the data. RepairPal's reliability breakdown shows the Mazda CX-5 has a much lower rate of severe or major repairs than the average SUV in its class. Their numbers put the CX-5 at 8% for severe or major repair probability, versus 13% for midsize SUVs overall. Not marginally better. That's roughly 40% fewer major problems than average. It's a completely different ownership reality, and mechanics notice it in their daily workload. Why? Port injection, no turbocharger, no cylinder deactivation. Mazda intentionally avoided complexity. Mechanics noticed immediately. A shop owner in North Carolina said, "I work on BMWs and Audis all day. Timing chains, oil leaks, electronic faults. The CX-5s? Oil changes, tires, that's it." Mazda also avoided touchscreen-only controls. Physical knobs, real buttons. No climate settings buried in menus. Starting around 30 grand, it isn't cheap. But factor in Mazda's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, average maintenance costs of about $450 per year, and resale values holding at around 65% after 3 years. Compare that to 45 to 50% for equivalent Volkswagen crossovers. And the total ownership cost tells a very different story. Fuel economy of 26 miles per gallon combined isn't class-leading, but it's honest. No inflated EPA numbers that disappear in real-world driving. What Mazda claims is what owners actually see. And for mechanics who watch customers get burned by optimistic ratings, that honesty matters. Number 5. Toyota Highlander Hybrid. Number 5 is the SUV that dominates mechanic driveways across America. The Toyota Highlander Hybrid. Not the platinum trim, not the flashy packages. The basic hybrid that reviewers call sensible, even boring, is the SUV professionals buy with their own money. A California mechanic with nearly 30 years of experience put it simply, "I've worked on every brand. Nothing comes close to the Toyota hybrid reliability." These systems aren't new. They're decades old now. Toyota has spent over 25 years refining the same hybrid technology while everyone else is still experimenting. Owner survey data backs this up. Across long-term reliability studies, Toyota hybrid SUVs routinely land near the top, while complex premium SUVs cluster lower, especially as mileage climbs. The difference isn't subtle. It's a completely different ownership reality. Here's what mechanics know that most buyers don't. The Highlander Hybrid avoids nearly every major failure point in modern SUVs. No turbochargers, no direct injection carbon buildup. It's port injected, no dual clutch transmission, no diesel emission systems. The hybrid system replaces stress with simplicity, electric motors doing the hardest work, and an engine that's rarely pushed at all. That's why mechanics trust it. The e-CVT has no traditional clutch to burn out. Electric motors are brushless, minimal wear. A rideshare driver in Los Angeles showed me his records. 2020 Highlander Hybrid, 410,000 miles, oil changes and tires, that's it. His words, "The SUV refuses to die." Battery replacement costs? Roughly $2,000 to $2,500. That's less than one luxury SUV transmission service. Real-world fuel economy, 35 miles per gallon. Mechanics who drive 20,000 to 25,000 miles a year for work are saving thousands of dollars compared to turbocharged alternatives. No diesel particulate filters, no regeneration cycles, no long highway drives just to keep emission systems alive. Those systems don't just fail, they quietly damage engines over time. Starting around 40 grand, the Highlander Hybrid costs more than the budget SUVs on paper. But one New Jersey mechanic explained why that doesn't matter. Run the numbers. 10-year ownership, fuel, repairs, depreciation. The Highlander Hybrid costs less than SUVs that sell for $10,000 or $15,000 less upfront. I've done the math. That's why I drive one. Number 4. Honda CR-V, 2.4 naturally aspirated pre-turbo. At number 4, the SUV that proves reliability didn't disappear. It just stopped being advertised. The Honda CR-V, specifically the pre-turbo naturally aspirated 2.4-liter models. This is the choice for mechanics who want space and comfort without paying for unnecessary complexity. Why this version specifically? A shop owner in Portland explained it this way. Honda's newer turbo engines aren't bad, but when something goes wrong, repairs get expensive fast. The old 2.4, if it breaks, I can fix it cheaply. That's the whole calculation. And he's right. The naturally aspirated K-Series engine avoids nearly every modern failure point. No turbocharger overheating, no direct injection carbon buildup, no variable compression tricks. Just a proven engine design that Honda refined for over a decade. Yes, early CR-Vs had known issues. Oil consumption on poorly maintained examples. Transmission fluid neglect causing shudder. But here's the difference. Honda addressed these problems early, and they were maintenance sensitive, not design failures. Post-fix models show consistently low failure rates in US inspection and long-term ownership data. This isn't a gamble, it's a known quantity. Honda's commitment to physical controls is what separates the CR-V from competitors. Climate control uses real knobs. Audio has actual buttons. The infotainment works because Honda didn't try to reinvent it. A mechanic in Ohio told me, "I can adjust temperature without looking away from the road." That sounds basic, but most SUVs can't do it anymore. Space embarrasses SUVs costing far more. Rear seats fit real adults. Cargo space easily handles tools, strollers, or luggage. Visibility is excellent because Honda prioritized function over aggressive styling. It's an SUV designed by engineers who still drive in the real world. Starting prices were competitive when new, and used examples remain widely available. But what matters is this: independent reliability tracking consistently places Honda among the top 5 most reliable brands in the US. Mechanics buying CR-Vs aren't gambling. They're reading the data, adding their own repair experience, and choosing the version that quietly works. Not exciting, not flashy, just dependable, which to a mechanic is the entire point. Number 3. Subaru Forester, naturally aspirated only. Number 3 is the one all-wheel drive SUV that still makes this list, but only under very specific conditions. The Subaru Forester with the naturally aspirated engine only, not the turbo, not the performance trims. This exact configuration represents the last version of Subaru's formula before complexity started creeping in. I spoke to a Wisconsin mechanic who's worked on Subarus for over 20 years. His advice was precise. Forester, naturally aspirated, that's it. The turbo Subarus pay my mortgage. The naturally aspirated ones just come in for maintenance. That distinction matters. The naturally aspirated Forester avoids Subaru's biggest failure points. No turbochargers overheating oil lines. No boost pressure stressing a flat engine layout. No extra heat loading an engine that already runs warm by design. The turbo versions are quicker and significantly more expensive to own long-term. The naturally aspirated engine is slower, but it operates well within its design limits. Mechanics care about margins, not marketing numbers. Modern naturally aspirated Foresters, when serviced properly, show strong long-term durability. The turbo models reintroduced stress. The NA engines didn't. That's why mechanics still trust them. Subaru's all-wheel drive remains mechanical and predictable. No reactive systems engaging late. No overheated clutch packs. And Subaru held on to physical controls longer than most brands. Climate knobs, real buttons, standard OBD diagnostics. Independent shops can service them affordably. That matters more than touchscreen size. The Forester isn't flashy, but visibility is excellent. Space is honest. The design prioritizes use over appearance. Finding the right one requires discipline. Naturally aspirated, well-maintained, unmodified. Mechanics know exactly what to avoid. That's why these versions hold value quietly, while turbo models depreciate fast once warranties end. It's not exciting, it's dependable. And for the people who fix cars for a living, that's the entire point. Number 2. Toyota 4Runner. At number 2, a choice that surprises no one who fixes cars for a living. The Toyota 4Runner. Old, heavy, slow by modern standards, and nearly indestructible. A Utah mechanic put it bluntly: these trucks survive abuse that would kill most modern SUVs in a year. That durability isn't an accident. The 4Runner sticks to a formula most manufacturers abandoned: a naturally aspirated V6, a traditional automatic transmission, and body-on-frame construction. No turbochargers pushing small engines beyond their limits. No dual-clutch transmissions overheating in traffic. No air suspension. No adaptive dampers. No electronic tricks waiting to fail. Yes, it's clunky. Yes, fuel economy is poor. But here's the trade-off mechanics understand instantly. When something finally does wear out, it's mechanical, predictable, repairable. Owner reports regularly show 4Runners reaching 300,000 miles with routine maintenance. Suspension components, brakes, fluids, that's it. Toyota didn't modernize the 4Runner, they simply refused to complicate it. While competitors chased refinement and efficiency, Toyota kept building a vehicle that tolerates neglect, heat, towing, dirt, and time. For mechanics who see how modern SUVs fail, the appeal isn't nostalgia, it's survival. Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. And taking the number 1 spot, the SUV mechanics buy more than any other: the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Not exciting, not luxurious, not trying to impress anyone, just relentlessly dependable. When I asked mechanics why the hybrid specifically, the answer was always the same: stress reduction. No turbocharger forcing heat into a small engine. No high-load transmission wear. Less brake wear thanks to regenerative braking. The hybrid system does the hardest work, while the engine operates calmly in the background. This isn't new technology. It's the same proven Toyota hybrid architecture used in taxis that run 400 to 500,000 miles. Across reliability datasets, Toyota's mainstream hybrids consistently avoid the big-ticket failures that destroy ownership budgets. The difference isn't subtle, it's a completely different ownership experience. Interior design reflects the same philosophy. Physical buttons for critical functions, a touchscreen that doesn't control everything, no subscriptions, no features that expire. You buy it once and you actually own it. Starting at around 34 grand, the RAV4 Hybrid isn't cheap, but every mechanic I spoke to made the same calculation. 10-year ownership, fuel, repairs, depreciation. The RAV4 Hybrid costs less than SUVs that look cheaper on day one. It won't impress your neighbors. What it will do is work every single day for a very long time. For professionals who fix broken cars constantly, that's worth everything. Out of hundreds sold in America, only 7 pass the test of people who fix broken vehicles for a living. Complexity doesn't mean progress. Mechanics know it means profit, just not for you. Share this with anyone shopping for an SUV this year. Subscribe if you want ownership reality, not showroom fantasy. I'll see you in the next one.